first of all, I'm going to introduce the panel. Good evening, Billy.
Evening, Peter.
One of our normal BRN team.
Normal.
I say normal again, but I don't mean this.
I'm going to say again, I'm not normal.
You're actually not after last week's performance, Billy. Jeff, welcome back.
He's got hair more like Barry Manilow than me.
Yeah, I love the photos of you looking like Barry Manilow.
It's getting unfair.
Yeah, getting unfair. And good evening, John.
How normal he is.
Yeah,
compared to the rest of us, how normal he is.
Absolutely. Just a quick point. You've obviously come back from Huntingdon today, the Peterborough Chase.
Terrific day.
Yeah.
Great ride. Barry Geraghty gave that winner. You have to think that the mistakes it made and can still win, but the weights so favoured Riverside Theatre. Loves it first time out. The weights, if it was a handicap, it would be much closer up to Champions Court and the top one, Captain Chris. But he gave it a beautiful ride. And the weights really told. People say weights don't matter in racing. Well, if one case, it clearly was there. And beating Captain Chris ran a terrific race as well. It was great fun there.
Absolutely. And we will be previewing a couple of races for Cheltenham on Friday as well, a little bit later on. We're going to have some serious discussion and some banter as well, so keep those tweets coming in. I did want to, first of all, talk to you about a news that came out earlier in the week, Billy, about Newcastle and about whether your view on that, whether it's a good thing.
Absolutely great. I mean, look at how many trainers are in the north of England, and to travel down to Wolverhampton or to Southall it's a cost and a trek. And it's absolutely right we should have an all-weather track in the north of England.
But when it affect the quality of racing that's already on show?
Well, to have in the north of England, absolutely right. But it's going to be a straight mile. So how many people are going to turn up for the racing? People who don't turn up at Kempton, at Lingfield, Southall and Wolver, it's going to be that kind of crowd you get. I just wish they'd do one thing, and it's not asking much of all the brains in racing. Why can't all these all-weather surfaces be the same? I'm not saying what it should be, Polytrack or Tappeta or whatever they have, but why for the punters and for the whole game, the courses get together. Four of them are art courses, so and Kempton as well. Fibre sand, whatever it is, I'm not an expert to say what it is. I certainly think Tappeta comes out favourably when you hear people talk about it, but get for the experts. But every time you've got to slow the form, he goes at Wolverhampton on the ground, but doesn't go at Lingfield, and now we're going to a new one at Newcastle. This is stupidity, and this is contempt for the public. Public would want to study the form, and it's very good form for people to work out if they know what the ground they're racing on wherever they run. So why can't people do it? And Wolverhampton's got to be told in about 6 months' time they're going to change the surface of Wolverhampton.
Why did it take them 6 months?
Well, and you just watch the races there, and they're kicking up the dust and the dirt that falls in faces. But as a real sort of get-together, they really are moving on. We've got this £1 million Good Friday at Lingfield, more money going in to the all-weather, and so why on earth they can't go and say, right, every track, the same kind of surface. Work it out between the experts. I'm not saying what they should do. It would be costly, but it would benefit the whole game.
But do you think after a while, though, we'll have low-grade handicaps pretty much like we are now? Yeah, of course you will. And it'll be twilight times. As an on-course bookmaker, you wouldn't be seen at Wolverhampton or Kempton on a cold winter's night.
I wouldn't be seen dead on an all-weather track as an on-course bookmaker. As an off-course bookmaker, clearly the all-weather is a vital product for the off-course, but no question about it, it is a vital product. But as far as the north, the north, feeding the north trains, personally, as far as the racing public is concerned, I don't think people care whether they come from where to feed the northern trains. Haven't we got enough all-weather racing as it stands right now? Have we not got a situation where if we just improve the tracks at Southall and Wolverhampton, Wolver Kickback as it's become known, that we've got enough all-weather product as it is now? Why do we need to denigrate the product even more with more all-weather racing?
We've got this terrible snobbery, and to condemn the all-weather just because we aren't used to it. And America, of course, they have the ghastly dirt. Attack the dirt, as you should do. Santa Anita going back to dirt for this year's Breeders' Cup was a disgrace. So that you can do when it actually injures horses. But for people, the well-bred people like him who live in Sunningdale, live in mansions, multi-millionaires, looking down on the rest of us, who are pleased for all-weather racing. Obviously not the best horse you could, but you can get some terrific races. And that race that was abandoned the other day at Lingfield, Hawkeye they knew was going in it, and one of really good horses.
And they've set up a special campaign as well for the big race.
It was rather an exception rather than rule.
I know it was.
You have to be fair, John. I mean, we're talking about, it's not about snobbishness. This is all-weather has become the domain of Class 5, Class 6. horses that are virtually on their last legs, some of them, the way you see them, they've gone about 2 furlongs, and some horses have beaten 150 yards.
Well, it happens all right,
but they wouldn't have a job anywhere else.
No, but then these races here produce tremendous form horses who win 8, 10, 12 races and love the track, and they get their little followings and all that sort of thing.
Basically, as a filler for racing, I completely accept, as a filler for racing, it is a vital product. And yes, Kempton, for example, is a shining example of a fantastic racing surface which produces a lot of fine finishes. Yes,
fine. Have the Kempton surface everywhere, and of course you can't say about the facilities. Well, another thing I'm pleading with, I'm just sick of making cases, and it's so nobody can argue against me. The paddock should be in front of the stands everywhere. Now, thanks to Stan Clark, it is at Newcastle, it is at Donny, it's at Chepstow. The late Stan Clark brought that in. The paddock, so the whole show is given to the people. Lingfield, I have begged them. Get the paddock on the run. Few enough people turn up anyway, and they've got to traipse backwards and forwards. Southall, exactly the same. Wolver is right at the back everywhere. So why on earth we can't have the paddock in front of the stands?
But no one goes.
It encourages people to go. And the other thing is to follow the example of Towson and get free entry.
Absolutely.
Free entry. We're not talking about an imaginary crowd.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
It is. It's completely fictitious to sort of say that anybody goes.
No, I'm saying is more would be likely to go if they can actually see the whole spectacle brought to them, instead of having to go around. So when you are failing to get people in, what do? You make the attraction better. Making it better is by having the same surface everywhere, the paddock in front of the stands, these obvious reforms that should be brought in, but not the snobbish sort of looking down on the rest of us. Oh, he goes all weather, how awful, holding your noses, oh, he's going to all weather. It's ridiculous. It's betting shop fodder. Of course it is, but it is being improved. It can be further improved, and some very good horses.
So why we haven't got long to talk on the subject, but obviously very briefly, we're looking at a new track at Newcastle. The track at Great Leys.
Yeah, but Great Leys is huge problems. There's people have been arrested there and all that sort of thing. It's a financial problem. Who owns what at Great Leys, and who owns the goods? So the BHA are absolutely right. And the second thing about Great Leys is they didn't have the stand built. So it's like opening a hotel, but the kitchen's not ready. So it was absolutely absurd. So I've said to everybody, the BHA, to all the people trying to get Great Leys going, I'd love it to get going Great Leys, because it's very popular. The Newmarket people, the surface, nobody complains about. They've got to build a proper stand.
Okay.
You can't expect people to go in and be virtually intense and all that sort of thing. So do the job properly and then reopen Great Leys, but there's a big financial problem.